way, you can't really prove any of this. You can't prove whether it was or was not God that you met. And this is where the stories, you kind of have to take them with a bit of a pinch of salt, because you can't really tell what actually happened without being there and experiencing it for yourself. So that is what I would suggest firstly, is to do it yourself, see what you experience, and then make of that what you will. Try and interpret or understand it based on what you experience, not based on someone else's story. Because they could have met any entity and claimed it was God. They could have met a random being, an extraterrestrial, anything is in the astral realm. So there's no way of knowing for sure who or what you experienced during an OBE. And then you have, of course, the other side of this, the other half of the argument, where people just think that astral projection is another expression of this consciousness and of lucid dreaming. Now, this is where it's going to get a bit tricky, okay? And this, you have to make your own mind up about it. I can't tell you what to believe with any of this stuff, but the other side of things, the other sort of half, if you will, of people believe that astral projection is just another form of lucid dreaming, another state of consciousness, right? We have different states of consciousness, being awake, dreaming, sleeping, lucid dreaming, and then different sort of altered states of consciousness, many induced by substances like DMT, ayahuasca, LSD, salvia to some degree. These different things can alter our states of consciousness and let us experience things in a different way. So those type of people would just argue that astral projection, well, it's just like a lucid dream. It's just a different state of consciousness, meaning that you're not really interacting with God, as it were. You're just basically experiencing something else or a different way of looking at things from within your consciousness as a human. And that is what I kind of disagree with, mainly because I fundamentally believe we are not just this human shell. This is basically like a vehicle. This body, this human body that we're in, is like a vehicle. And if you've had a near-death experience, as I have, you will know that that is true, because you will have this glimpse, this sort of, you almost remember the full story as you're in this near-death experience. You almost remember it, and then you're sort of snapped back into this reality, and you kind of forget. And you remember like there was something important was about to happen, but you can't quite put your finger on the details of it. You just remember that this probably isn't all there is. This body that we're in is probably just a small part of the bigger picture. However, you find all kinds of stories online. People, especially on Reddit and other forums, they tend to be very vocal about their experiences. They're very open to sharing them, which is good in a way, but it also leads to exaggeration, because you know the crazier your story is, the more attention it will get, if that's what you're trying to do on Reddit, for example. And you also have people who exaggerate what they experienced. You know, let's say if me and you have the same exact experience, and we won't report it in the same way. One of us might exaggerate details, okay? We might see or focus on different parts of the experience, meaning that it sounds either more intense and crazy or less intense or crazy, depending on how you basically experience it and share it. So you have to take stories online with a bit of a pinch of salt, because you don't know for sure what they've experienced. You only know what you've experienced. So going right back to the start, can you experience or meet God during astral projection? Well, certainly possible, but you have to bear in mind the things I said, okay? And try and trust in your intuition and your experiences more than you trust in a story you've read online.